Alright, my dear friends, we are back again for yet another lesson, Gender in the District. This is unit 22 of 24, as you can see, and it's a very interesting lesson because it focuses on us, people. Yes, at least we get to talk about ourselves for once. But as you know, we wrote it backwards, then we come forwards, then we look at what is happening in the world today. So first of all, I want us to know that this unit is the beginning of a series of the last 3 units. And it helps us to connect, because when you look at the last 3, they also had a connection, and I think the most linking part was trade, and then traditional, ancestral, something kind of thing, exchange of 1 or 2 things. Now these ones here, they start with the people and they end with the people. Okay, so we have gender, which talks about understanding who people are, men and women, creating respect for them. Then it goes again to creating a balance between these 2 human beings, man and woman. Then after creating that balance, then we are going to focus on democracy. Can these 2 people, having a fair balance of everything they are doing, can they now do the things they need to do by themselves, knowing that it is for the good of all people, without feeling one is superior and one is inferior? So these are the series that we are going to be touching on as we wind up the year in social studies. So come along with me, boys and girls, and let's jump right into it and see what we have in store for us. Now we start with the question, what is gender? And it's a very simple question. It's a state of being either male or female, and we all know this is who we are. You're either male, you're either female, and these people are all over the district. Yeah, and when we talk of gender, we don't mean who is old, who is young, who is 70, who is 20, who is 10. No, just being female or male. Now, with gender comes different responsibilities that you have to carry out, and we all know these kind of responsibilities, but we're going to have to go through and see what kind of responsibilities this could be, and what was happening with these kind of responsibilities. Alright. Oh, we have some. Is it a confusing picture? Is it anything having to do with, I see men with cows, I see again men on top of buildings, I see men trying to play with some things, and then lastly women putting on what the man was actually doing. When you look through the words, you actually see the responsibilities of these people, of men and the boys. So the male, what happened? What were the responsibilities of male in the past? Grazing animals, hunting, building houses, making clothes. You can see a man over there trying to make some clothes from bark, and then of course what we do is enjoyed by the women. Let's see if the women also did some things that we the men enjoyed in the past. Oh yeah, I can see women watering plants in the garden. There is a young girl trying to wash her dishes, and then of course women had to go and fetch water for cooking. So girls fetched water, washed dishes. Women would go to the garden in order to make sure we had food, because there was a lot of land anyway. Sometimes women were responsible for staying at home, taking care of the children, and making sure the home was in perfect order. And some of these things are actually being done even today. Cooking, well, there are some men who are trying to take up that kind of challenge, but sometimes the results, yeah, we have seen daddy once trying to get into the kitchen. Maybe some dads actually are very good, they're chefs, they're very good at doing this thing, but a good percentage of them yeah, you understand what I mean. Women looked after children, because they're the people who give birth to us, and so most of the burden is upon their heads. They have to take care of us, make sure we are satisfied, we are not naked, we are well behaved, all those kind of things. Women, I thank God for these women and these mothers of ours, because if they were not here, I don't know where we would be or what we would look like actually. Yeah. Now let's dig into what happened in the past. We have seen their responsibilities, but who were the men? Who were the men? Because men were seen to be the rock and pillar of society, and these are some of the reasons. They were masters. I don't know if we understand what a master is, but a master is somebody who gives orders. He doesn't take orders, he gives orders, and things get done. So men were masters in their homes. Men, if he came home and he didn't find water for him to take shower that very evening, the wife was in problems. If he decided that today children are going to eat alone and the adults are going to eat alone, there was no question. And as you can see, they decided everything and they had to be obeyed. He could not ask a man, why have you decided like this? No. This is how I want it. They were like small kings in their own homes. So they were to be feared and respected. And whatever they said, that was final. And everything in the house belonged to them. Belonged to them. Be it even the rope that tied the goats, it belonged to the man. And when they died, that's very interesting. When they died, everything was for the boys, not for the girls. Girls were just there to bring cows whenever they were getting married. Yeah. So the property goes to the boys, so that the boys would also give it out when they were going to marry. So property, boys. People responsible for bringing cows, girls. So they don't need this property, because after all they're going to go to their husbands' houses and then take whatever is there. Interesting, right? Men owned the land. This land was passed to their sons, not daughters. If, let's say, I have a piece of land, or I had a piece of land in Gisozi, And as you know, my small baby Mercy should not get anything unless I give birth to a son. Yes, that is how it worked. If she grew up into a big girl and the land was still there, then the uncles would come and take it. That is how it worked. And then the uncles would distribute it to their sons. Or my other brothers would come and just take over the land. That is how it worked. There was no female leader in the past. How could you become a leader? A woman. What ideas would you bring in the meeting? You are a woman. In the home, it is the man who is the chief. Whatever he says, you agree and obey. So how would you become a leader? Because if you become a leader, then it means the men are becoming nothing. They are very powerless. And therefore, only men could become kings. Only men could become kings. And as we have said, decisions were made by men, not women. So whatever you see here was done by men. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, men were a bit selfish. So we thank our president for changing all this, because it was a little bit harsh and cruel, but that is how it is. And life went on. So whatever the men were, the women were not. The women were not. And I've tried to explain a few things of how they acted, or what they were during their own time. So we want to see. I've told you that we'll be shifting from the past to the present, then we see what exactly is happening. So here we are. Want to see, how about today? How about today? What is the position of the men and women in the district today? The position of men and women is different today. Indeed, as I was ending the other slide, I told you we thank our president for having changed all this, because this is what we have today. Both men and women have equal responsibilities and opportunities. It means what the man can do, the woman is allowed to do. What job can be done by a man, the same applies to the woman. Some of us have mothers who are CEOs. Some of us have mothers who are senior managers. Today, men and women are equal. At home, the husband and the wife are equal partners. Indeed. So many times you have heard your father calling your mother to ask him about something. Do you think we should call the other paintman today to come and finish up the painting, or we should try? We could wait for a few more days, and then your mother will give her opinion, which was not in the past. Your mother calls your father and says, you know what, today I'm not going to be around, and as you know, there's no one to be with the kids. And daddy just replies politely, don't worry, actually I had a meeting at 5, but I think I can postpone that meeting and then I'll be home with the kids. Whom would you tell like that in the past? But as you can see today, things have shifted from cruel to humble to social, and everybody is happy with how life is moving on. I talked about jobs, pilots, of CEOs, office managers, call center agents, heads of families, business owners, all these men and women are feeling them. MPs, presidents. Yeah, life is becoming a little bit fair to both of us, and that's good. Directors, headmistresses, all those. So how about Rwanda? How about Rwanda? We come to the main changes that have taken place in the district. So how about Rwanda? We have laws. That's number one. Boys and girls, women and men are equal. That's why you see the president has the highest number of women members of parliament in Africa. 60%. 60%, if not in the whole world. 60% are female. When you go to a country like Finland, I think, if I remember so well, Finland has the highest number of young female leaders, and the prime minister is also a female. During the time of Muammar Gaddafi, all soldiers were female, all of them. No male, female. In the past, only boys would go to school to have a chance of education. But look today, when you go to the schools, you will find that girls are more than boys. And that is happening in Rwanda as well. Even in our class, in our classes, we noted that about like 70% were girls, only 30% are boys. We have this thing called 9 years, where children are getting free education, and therefore children are able to go to school, female or male, it doesn't matter. And as we know, number 4, that the genocide took most of our men. The genocide took most of our men because they were the people who were engaging in the fighting. They are the people who had the brains behind getting into war. And so the women who were left here, because of those problems, most women survived. And now they are the people who started rebuilding the homes slowly by slowly. And here we are today, 2020, and our country has recovered tremendously to a point where it is almost self-sustaining. So, boys and girls, this is the wonderful package I wanted to bring to you about this lesson, and I'm pretty much sure that as you play it back, as you come back to it, as you try to understand everything that we have discussed, you are most likely to have picked a lot of information and learned quite enough to understand all about gender. What is this female and male, and what are the responsibilities involved? All this, I'm sure that it will assist you as you proceed to build onto your knowledge of how it was in the past and how it was and how it is in the current situation. Thank you so much and have a wonderful time. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.